Okay, guys, so Warner Brothers announced that they're going to be doing more Lord of the Rings movies. And as a fan of arguably the greatest trilogy ever in cinematic history, it's fabulous news, guys. And this is me ranking the three movies in which one I think is the best. Okay, so I have my books here. As you guys can see, it's the trilogy. And I'm gonna start off with number three, guys. Okay, so at number three, guys, I have the Two Towers. This one was a bit of a slow burner. It happens right after the Fellowship is broken up, and basically the Fellowship find themselves lost, and everybody is heading in their own direction. Everybody's trying to figure out what is my purpose in this whole thing. It's a slow burner. We get to go to Rohan, and then we have this brilliant climatic battle at the end. It's brilliant, guys, but it's not my favorite between the three movies. And then at number two, I have, yes, this is the one. I have Return of the King. This basically blew everybody away at the Academy Awards the year it came out. It was nominated for Best Picture. Basically, I think it had about 11 nominations or even 30 nominations at that awards. And it was just an amazing achievement in cinema. Delivered, I think this is Peter Jackson's greatest achievement in terms of the entire series. And that is The Return of the King. Basically, it's, I don't even know what to say, guys. That climatic battle is probably the biggest battle that I've seen in cinema. Some might argue that Endgame, Avengers Endgame, had a bigger uh, battle sequence, but it doesn't compare to what was achieved in Return of the King, guys. It's amazing, guys, and I would recommend that you guys watch the extended edition of all these films, because basically it dives a little deeper into areas that were not explored in the adaptation, and all that missing pieces that you find when reading the book. They dive a little into some of those in the extended editions, which clocks in, this one clocks in at 4 hours. Two Towers is 3.5, and I think Fellowship clocks in right about 3 hours. And this is at number two, guys, The Return of the King. But at number one, guys, the one that when this movie came out back in 2001, I had no idea what The Lord of the Rings was, and it absolutely blew me away what was put on screen, and what an amazing achievement that movie was, guys. At number one, I have The Fellowship of the Ring, which is basically the best fantasy movie that I have ever watched. And it was shot beautifully. The story was amazing. The characters were perfect. And the moment this landed in cinema, I knew that I was hooked. I know that, like, this is another cinematic achievement that some might try to replicate, but they will never be able to do this, guys. It's a moment in time that you had to be there, you had to watch the movies. I think this movie I watched maybe might be more than 50 times that I watched this movie. And that's a lot, guys, because it is a 3 hour movie. And this is basically where everything started. I know the Hobbit books is where everything started, but in terms of the definitive fantasy series that J.R.R. Tolkien has created, this is the book that solidifies his legacy as being a remarkable achievement. And the Fellowship of the Ring, guys, there's so many scenes in that movie that still, whenever I see it, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, guys. I mean, seeing Rivendell for the first time, the Fellowship facing off against the Balrog, seeing Gollum in the shadows, and ultimately he would only be revealed in the Two Towers, and even Gandalf falling. There was the amount of emotion in that scene, guys. It's incredible. Elijah Wood, Orlando Bloom, Kate Blanchett, um, Love Tyler. I mean, there's an endless list of actors that, guys, this Sean Bean as Boromir, Vigo. There is just, I can't speak highly enough about this movie, guys. This is the best fantasy movie that I have ever watched, and personally, the greatest of all time. The Fellowship of the Ring, guys. Some might argue and say The Return of the King because as a movie it's a spectacle, but this is the one that it created that sense of wonder, that sense of magic of, you know what, I'm gonna pick up a stick and I'm gonna walk through the woods. And ultimately, this showcased that Frodo and Sam didn't know about the danger that laid ahead, and just to go with them through their journey of when it started is absolutely incredible, guys. And this is a trilogy that you guys cannot sleep on. This is, to me, the greatest trilogy in cinematic history. Some might argue, I know, but that is how I feel, guys, and I can highly recommend that you guys watch these movies. The Hobbit was okay, but it didn't come close to what was achieved here. And I mean, if you think about it, 2001, 2002, 2003, those were those were years where CGI, as we know it, wasn't such a big thing, and what they managed to achieve with Andy Serkis as Gollum was was amazing to witness, guys. And it's a journey that I recommend that everybody should take. And you will find some of the most loved characters in literature and to ever grace the big screen, guys. That's how I rank the three movies, guys. At number three, I have The Two Towers. At number two, I have The Return of the King. But number one has to be The Fellowship of the Ring, guys. It's still my favorite fantasy movie, and none has ever come out that has ever come close to the achievement of The Fellowship of the Ring, guys. You guys should definitely watch these movies if you haven't. It's incredible what they've managed to achieve with these movies. And Peter Jackson, ultimately, he'll never reach the level of what he did with these movies. Hopefully, they call him back, guys, because Warner Brothers are doing new movies. I enjoyed the TV show that came out on Prime Video. It started off slow, but it picked up at the end. So I'm excited to see the arrival of season 2 when that comes out, guys. Comment down below, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my ranking? Is there something you would change? What do you have at number one? And what do you think? Where does this lie in the history of cinema as one of the greatest achievements? Comment down below, like and subscribe. I'll definitely catch you guys on the next one.